Have you ever sprayed a fragrance and thought, whoa, I really need to keep smelling this? You know, that type of fragrance that just gets stuck in your head and the one that you just gravitate towards over and over again and you just can't stop smelling it. So here in this video, I will be talking about 12 fragrances that I am completely addicted to, and I think you will also if you have the opportunity to try them. Hi everyone, I'm Gioiosa and this is my channel Scented Moments where we discuss everything about perfumes. So in this video I have here 12 fragrances that are so addicting, so good. I just gravitate towards them over and over at this moment. In no specific order, let's get started. The first fragrance from the house of Les Indemodables, and it is Vanille Coeur de Oud. Now this one was released last year. This is a very limited edition release, very expensive. Nonetheless, is a wonderful, wonderful oud take on the DNA of Vanille. So I have actually all the interpretations of Vanille. I have the original Eau de Parfum. I have the Extrait that comes in a roller bottle, like 10 ml bottle. And now I have this one as well. I featured this one by December of last year when I talked about my fragrance haul back then. And Vanille Coeur de Oud is one of my favorite purchases of last year. It's so good. It's really good. Yes, it's overpriced. Yes, I mean, unfortunately, it's very limited. Even to try this one, one can also argue in terms of like the strategy of the brand while releasing this one, just basically allowing you to just blind buy, not giving you the chance to sample. I mean, we can point out several things around this fragrance, but what really matters in the end is the scent, and the scent is fantastic. It's basically Vanille with that natural smelling vanilla, a bit chocolatey, tobacco like cigar with a natural smelling oud. It's just to die for. The oud here adds depth, richness, adds more mysterious nuances, a bit more resinous, dark facets. It's amazing. I adore this one. The performance wise, although this is an eau de parfum, but for me this acts more like an extrait. It's a very thick and dense fragrance, and it's not a fragrance that really shout from my skin. It's a fragrance that more lingers like a scent bubble, and it lasts the whole day. Amazing fragrance. I'm head over heels with Vanille Coeur de Oud by Les Indemodables. The next fragrance, it's from the house of Astrophil and Stella, and this is more of a Gourmand fragrance. This one is Cheri. Man, I adore this one. This brand is extremely underrated, but I've been talking about this brand. I mean, love their offerings. This one is one of them. Now, this is all about heliotrope, almonds, and tonka beans with a hint of vanilla also. You know, this kind of reminds me of Profumum Roma's Battito Dali. If you're familiarized with that scent DNA, I think you will love this one. Now, this is a gourmand take on Battito Dali. It's more almondy, more creamy, more heavy on the tonka beans. It's just to die for. Love this one right here. It's simple. It's a simple perfume overall. It lingers really nicely. It lasts a very long time. This is an extrait, so the projection won't be amazing, but longevity wise it's quite good, and I believe this is incredibly comforting. It's a very comforting fragrance, very cozy, very warm, and it's one that I highly advise you to try if you are into these type of fragrances. Cheri by Astrophil and Stella. Next fragrance from the house of BDK Parfum. It's been a while since I talked about this one. It's actually Velvet Tonka. Now, I haven't spoken much about this because this was back in Lisbon and I brought it with me this last time. And because I adore this and Richarnel from BDK. I mean, these two are my favorites from the brand. I have like Extrait Gris Charnel Extrait, which I have on my wish list, love it, that one. Crème de Coeur, it's another one that I adore. But I would say that Velvet Tonka and Gris Charnel, like both the original Eau de Parfum and Extrait, are my favorites from BDK. This is fantastic, really. And actually, I would also say that there is a fragrance from Vanilla Sex from Tom Ford that it's extremely similar to Velvet Tonka. Now, Velvet Tonka, like it implies, it has a lot of tonka beans, vanilla, almonds also, and it also has like a boozy licoricey feel in here. This kind of reminds me of a Portuguese liqueur called Amarguinha, which we used to drink more in the summertime with a bit of ice, and it's so refreshing, like sweet, lemony, but refreshing at the same time, and really gives me that feel into it. And that's a big reason why I love Velvet Tonka, and I'm completely addicted to this perfume. I mean, and look at just the color, so rich, ambery color. I mean, it's fantastic. Performance wise, it's also great, so I highly advise you to try this Velvet Tonka by BDK Parfum. The next fragrance from the house of Thomas de Monaco, and it is Raw Gold. And this is the original version of Raw Gold. This is the Eau de Parfum. Nowadays comes as an Extrait and comes in a different bottle style. And smell-wise is also different, unfortunately. Now this one, it feels richer and more animalic. You have oud in here. You have also civet. You have coffee. You have chocolate. You have tobacco, like more cigar-like. And it's to die for, really. It's so good. It's really a masterpiece of a perfume. This was released in 2020. The new version, the Extrait, is more, it doesn't have any animalic nuances. You don't have oud and you don't have civet. You have all the other things. You still have the tobacco, you still have the chocolatiness, more enhanced patchouli. The patchouli, I think, gives a more earthy chocolatiness to the fragrance. You still have the boozy qualities that this one also has, but you just don't have the animalic and oud notes that you have in here. Nonetheless, still is in great shape, smells amazing. Performance wise, it's I think it's equally amazing. The performance of the Eau de Parfum is actually really good. In the Extrait, it's also quite decent to my view. So yes, I would not tell you to go crazy and try to find the original. I think the current version, it works just as fine. I think it's still magic, very magical. So yes. But if, of course, if you're lucky like me to have the original, of course, it has more depth, it has more character. But don't go crazy too for this one specifically. But nonetheless, I am addicted to this one, and I'm addicted to this one for a long time. This is actually the reason why I love the brand. Raw Gold by Thomas de Monaco, really one of my all-time favorite fragrances in recent times. Next fragrance, I've been talking about this fragrance from house of Profumum Roma. It's Gioiosa currently. The vanilla fragrance that I'm enjoying the most. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I mean, my favorite, I think it's still Toyota by Indult. That's #1 vanilla spot for Toyota. I think it's still undisputed, but this one it's really up there, and it's definitely one that I'm enjoying the most. And this is a vanilla solid floor, a very creamy, lactonic vanilla. Gives also like a hint of an ice cream. Like it has a mild ice cream-ish quality in here. But it's such a delicious, cozy, creamy, natural smelling vanilla. And this is a true Profumum Roma fragrance. I mean, it's very linear. What you get in the opening is what you will get in dry down. For me, it's perfect. That's why I love the brand. All of the fragrances smell, I'll not say all of them, there's actually a few exceptions, but the majority of them come across as a natural smelling fragrance, all very thick, highly concentrated, very oily fragrances. Performance wise, it's fantastic with most of them, and this is also one of them. Performance wise is amazing. If you are into vanilla fragrances, this is one that you must try. Gioiosa by Profumum Roma. Next fragrance that I'm completely addicted. This one is from the house of Ramon Monegal, and it is Flamenco Extrait. Now this is a 50 ml. This is, of course, the Extrait version. I also have in the 100 ml bottle, actually, the Eau de Parfum, the Flamenco, the original Flamenco in the Eau de Parfum, but this is the 100 ml. This is how it looks like. So this is the difference in terms of bottles. This is the 50 ml and this is the 100 ml. The 100 ml, I mean, while the 50 ml, the cap, it's connected to the bottle, in the 100 ml is actually a magnet. So it really comes out and it's a very strong magnetic cap. Actually, you can really pick it up just from the lid. So what are the differences? So Flamenco, the original, actually, it wasn't love at first sniff. This is a very sweet, ambery, cozy rose fragrance. And the rose here comes across has like a very like sweet, jammy rose with a bit of spices, lots of amber, and it has like a metallic nuance in here. This wasn't love at first sniff really because of the sweetness, but then I really came to it, and now I have a 100 ml. I mean, for a long time now, this is a very sexy fragrance. Very sexy fragrance in my view. Performance-wise, the Eau de Parfum is massive. It's really one of those fragrances that you can fill a room with it. Now, the Extrait, I would say that the Flamenco de Parfum, it's very playful, and it's one that it's a very easygoing, very casual fragrance. I would say that the Extrait, it's more upscale, a bit more formal, a bit more not so out there. It's a fragrance that yes, it's sweet. It's not as sweet as this one. I think it's more tamed, more smooth. Doesn't have rough edges like this one has. I think here everything is more smooth. Everything it's more tamed and more elegant, more upscale, and you have the extra touch of oud in here. Now, it's not a very prominent oud. The oud here is more of a supporting note, although you can definitely smell it in the dry down. But I would say that the oud just gives an extra layer of depth and more mysterious qualities into this perfume, and overall I think it's a more balanced fragrance. Now, for those who want more projection, more sweetness, if you want to be, well, I dare to say, more noticed, I think the Flamenco de Eau de Parfum is the one to go. If you want something more upscale, I think it's the Extrait. Currently I'm more in the Extrait mood. Maybe sooner or later I will more gravitates towards the original, but nonetheless, one or another, I think both are fantastic rose perfumes that I highly advise you to try. Now, the next fragrance, unfortunately, this is discontinued, very hard to get. This was released last year, actually, just like actually the Ramon Monegal Flamenco Extrait was also released last year. This one as well, from the house of Hermès. You know which one is coming? Paddock. Yes, Paddock. I'm obsessed with this fragrance. I'm actually been obsessed with it since I blind bought it, and I don't advise you to do that, but it's hard to not do it with Paddock because it's really just impossible to get it. It was just a very limited release. It was exclusive to the Hermès boutique in Paris for a specific event. I mean, I already talked about it. It's unfortunate that Hermès decided to do that in such a glorious fragrance. The best release of Hermès last year, and fortunately has a very limited exclusive release. Now, this is all about hay. Tons of hay in here with a creamy, like nuttiness. I would say like some creamy hazelnuts in here with hay and the horsey like leather. So good, so unique, so well done. Again, it's unfortunate that now it's really impossible to get, but if you are able to, just pull the trigger. If you are into these type of perfumes, again, this is very unique, might not be for everyone. It's one that I never tried, I never experienced this type of fragrance before, so I was just lucky enough to really appreciate it, but it could be a complete dud. But well, I'm really fortunate that it really works on my skin. Performance-wise is amazing. So yes, if you can find it, grab it. It's Hermès Paddock. Next fragrance from the house of Amouage, and it is Jubilation 40. I am so head over heels with this one. And this was not love at first sniff. Actually, I think I need to record and upload a video about fragrances that went from hate to love, because this one will definitely be featured in that one. And I have actually quite a few of them that I didn't love at first sniff, but then with time I start to appreciate them. So Jubilation 40, despised it the first time I tried it. So I'm a huge fan of the original Jubilation 25. I actually have a second, the second version of Jubilation 25, and it's glorious. It's a masterpiece. It's like a Hall of Fame type of fragrance. And this, the opening is different. It's not as equal as I would love to, at least back then. So Jubilation 25 has a huge dose of blackberry. I think it's blackberry, like a very juicy, like blueberry right in the opening. It's delicious, really, with incense, and it's glorious with honey, oud, resins. I mean, it's a rich, complex fragrance, but it's not a fragrance that changes that much. It's a very interesting one. And so this one opens a bit more animalic even. I would say that this one, because it has blackcurrant can come across a bit animalic. So you have blackberry, you have blackcurrant, and with that, because it's so enhanced, it's a bit animalic. While it's great, I love the opening, but I was already skeptical because it wasn't the same. And then it was a performance. Now, as this fragrance changes, you get more and more Jubilation 25 out of it. But performance-wise, at least in the first couple wears, it wasn't great at all. I mean, after 2 hours, I could barely smell it. This just to say that don't judge the fragrance just out of first impressions, because in the end, you might be missing on something really magic, and it's exactly what happened here. It was just thanks to a subscriber, actually, that he gave me a sample while I was at the Embassy Perfume store back in Lisbon. I think it was around the summer. I think it was during the summertime that he gave that sample. He was like, just give this one a proper wear, proper try. And it happened. It clicked, it literally clicked out of that sample, actually. And here we are with this amazing full bottle. I mean, very gorgeous, very beautiful full bottle of Jubilation 40. So this one is, like I was saying in the opening, tons of blackberry, tons of blackcurrant, very juicy, a bit animalic, very thick, very rich smelling, blueberry in the opening. And then this develops as more similar to Jubilation 25. I would also say a bit more intensely even. You still have the incense, you have the honey, you have the oud, and it's just magical. It's really a magical type of perfume, and actually the performance is quite good. Again, you just need to give a few wears because it will perform differently. Like a fragrance will not perform the same like every day. It will depend also on your movement, on what you're doing, where you are located, like if you are inside, if you are outside, and the fragrance will also react according to all of that. And actually, while I was outside, while I was moving, I was constantly getting whiffs of Jubilation 40, and it's glorious. And actually, it's one of my complimented fragrances of last year in the end. So yes, feel free to check that video out if you have yet to. Adore this one in the end. Highly advise for you to try this. A lot of people say that Jubilation 25, the current version, is watered down, doesn't smell the same as it once did. So I just really would advise you to go with the Extrait version if you can. Amouage Jubilation 40. The next fragrance that I'm completely addicted to from the house of Chanel, from the less exclusives, Coromandel. Man, this one is something else. It's a special patchouli fragrance with a white, creamy, chocolatey accord in here, and with aldehydes. It's glorious. It's really glorious. It's cozy, it's warm, but at the same time, it's so elegant. It's that perfect date night fragrance where you are not overshadowing anyone. You're not being obnoxious with your scent. It's a very alluring fragrance. Very alluring, very seductive, and comforting and cozy. And I love this. Coromandel from Chanel. It's one of those that you need to try at least once, especially if you're starting to explore these less exclusives line. I mean, this is one of the fragrances that you have to try at least once. I adore this one. One of my all-time favorites, Coromandel by Chanel. This next fragrance just keeps pulling me back to it. From the house of Guerlain, it was released last year. It is Rouge Parfum. This was love at first sniff, and this is my favorite out of the 3 Parfum fragrances that were released by Guerlain last year. Like, you had this one, Vetiver Parfum, L'Homme Parfum. While I adore 3, I have the 3 of them, but this is my favorite. Now, I'm a big fan of the original Rouge, but this is a modern take on that scent DNA, and more vanillic take on that scent DNA. So this has a massive dose of vanilla that might not be for everyone. It really even has like a booziness, like a boozy vanilla quality in here with the original DNA still in the background. Like, you have the lemon, you have the rose, and of course you have the lavender, and of course the vanilla. The vanilla here, I think it's the star with the rest of the DNA of Rouge in the background. Love it. Adore this one. Oh, it's so good. It's just perfection. This fragrance is just perfection. And you also have a hint of a leather in here as well. Highly advise for you to try this one. Performance-wise, amazing, lasts the entire day. It's one that you need to try. One of the better highlights of last year, fragrance-wise, Rouge Parfum by Guerlain. Actually, talking about highlights of last year, we need to talk about this one. Hugo Boss bottled Absolu. I'm really addicted to this one, guys. Now, I have a soft spot for the Hugo Boss bottle DNA because I wore it while I was in high school. And so, yes, I really have a soft spot for it. And I had other like flankers of this one back in the day. Now, this is amazing. Released last year. This was really a highlight. I was not expecting that I would love this one so much as I do. So this has everything. This has everything of the Boss bottle DNA. So you have the apple, you have the cinnamon, you have the vanilla, everything more enhanced. I would even dare to say that you have here a bit of a tobacco, a bit of a more woodsy, dark woodsy nuances, more spicy. This for me actually reminds me more like of a Layton exclusive, both by Parfum de Marly. I think it's very close, especially to Layton exclusive, dare I say. But in the end, Layton by Parfum de Marly, it's already heavily inspired by Boss Bottled, so it's like full circle here. Man, this one smells amazing. It's intoxicating, it's mysterious, it's addicting, and I already wore it a few times actually, even last year, and this one shines. I adore it, really. One of the best mainstream releases of last year, Boss Bottled Absolu. And the last 2 fragrances, and this video is already too long. The last 2 fragrances that I want to talk about that I'm really head over heels. These are already some of my favorite discoveries of this year that just recently started. But these are already up there. I just know it. And these 2 are from Ajmal, and these are Amir 1 and Amir 2. Now, I already talked about these fragrances when I dedicated a video for Ajmal, but these ones I purchased myself. This was not given from the brand. And I just want to show you, like, first of all, the amazing presentation here. Look at this. Just stunning. It opens like that. I mean, this is just fantastic, really. This is a 50 ml. These 2 fragrances are oud fragrances, natural smelling oud fragrances. I'm an oud lover, and blind bought it, and it was such a success blind buy. I mean, look at, just seriously beautiful, very heavy bottle overall, very thick glass, heavy cap as well. It's not magnetic, it's a click-on like type of cap, and so this fits like that. This one is actually magnetic, funny enough, but so this is the box, how it comes. Now, the scent-wise, Amir 1 is the most versatile of the 2. This is lavender. It's like a fougere fragrance, like a citrusy fougere fragrance with a natural smelling oud. Amazing, amazing, amazing fragrance. I will be talking about this one a lot when it gets warmer, actually. This is so elegant, so refined. One of the best oud fragrances, best, most unique oud fragrances that I smelled. Oh man, it's so good. It's really good. And then we have the Amir 2, this one right here in the green bottle, in the green box. It opens the same, like same presentation, very luxurious presentation here. Look at this. I mean, amazing, really amazing. Now these were quite affordable. I bought this at a discounter and it was 90 euros each, for 50 ml. Both are eau de parfum, not extrait, but they actually perform really well. And this one, the Amir 2 right here, this is a more animalic oud fragrance, more cheesy, animalic, funky oud. Now this is more for the colder days. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Actually, this one, if you're familiarized with The Night by Frédéric Malle, the type of oud, it's very similar. And quality-wise, it's up there for a very small fraction of the price. But actually, this, I'm not saying that I will not get The Night, because The Night is one of those fragrances that I want to get it this year. It's been forever on my wish list. This year I will get The Night. But yeah, this one is very close to the quality, oud quality of The Night, that cheesy, animalic. Oh man, it's so good. Oh, seriously, these two fragrances, Amir 1 and Amir 2 from Ajmal, I'm really head over heels. I mean, and you can see even like this one is a bit more fresher, this one is a bit more intense and resinous and more daring just by the color of the liquids. I mean, just stunning, stunning perfumes right here. Finishing this video, guys, let me know in the comments down below what are some of your most addicting fragrances, a fragrance that you are just gravitating towards over and over at this moment. If you find value in this video, hit the like button, subscribe, check out all the other fragrance content that I have available, and see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Ciao.